Phil says it's episode number 19.
Yeah, it's episode
So,
19, guys.
so yeah, almost an episode every week, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And then just a reminder, so we've redone kind of like the structure of this. So last week we had our friend Austin on here. So every month we'll have a guest on here, and then today is a more tactical training to make your time worth it, right? So you guys learn
Oh,
something out of it. Feel free to ask whatever questions. We'll be happy to answer them. Today we'll kind of do a sales training today.
yep.
You got anything, Phil?
I'm on in the chat. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys put them in the chat. But you guys are gonna be learning from the guru himself, not guru, but I would say the sales master, bro.
I,
Sales
I
master.
wish I wish I was a guru. Let me see. You can share screen on here, right?
Yeah, you can share a screen on this bad boy.
All right, let me see. All right. Let's do a script overview, okay? So we did a sales training for our guys in New Breed, right? And I figured that we can give this training to you guys as well because you can't go wrong when it comes with a script, right? A lot of people will say that you don't need a script when you're talking to sellers or talking to sales. If you hear anybody that is a high ticket closer or selling insurance or selling, someone to, whatever the case may be, there's always a script, right? Think about your favorite movie when you guys are watching Brad Pitt. I just watched the Brad Pitt movie F1. Dude, it's incredible, right?
Mm,
And there's a fat script that goes with that. And the thing is that what the difference is between one person reading the script or someone else, what is it? It's their acting ability, right?
yep.
That is the ability to ask the right questions at the right time and have the right tonality so it comes off the right way when you ask someone a very deep question,
Yep.
right? So that's the difference. So the foundation, everything that you do in sales, the foundation is the script.
Mm.
Everything else, you can do everything else from there. Okay? So intros, I know a lot of us do county records, courthouse records. That's what we preach to our group as well. And everyone knows that mastering one sales strategy is is hard, right? So
Yep.
imagine doing
Pretty
six,
hard.
7 different scripts. That's absolutely stupid. So I'm gonna show you how we implemented all the different county records into one script, and there should be one system that you should follow. Okay, so cold opening, right? This is cold calling. Real quick, there's only two ways to speak to a lead. The first way is cold. That means you're cold calling, um, cold text, whatever. That's outbound, right? Where you're interrupting their day. That's what cold is. Anything that's warm, it's a huge topic, right? So
Mhm.
anybody that fills in your forms for your PPC, PPL leads, anybody who books an appointment with your SMS, anybody who replies to an email, and any referrals, right? Because even SMS and email replies, those are still warm because they know you're calling them about their property. Okay? So there's only two different ways that you can speak to a seller. So let's just talk about cold email or cold, right? So, hey, this is Tim, right? Tim, it's Joe. You probably weren't expecting my call, right? The reason why we talk like this, and we also in this script that we have, which we'll give this all to you guys in our free Skool community, is that in this script that I have, I actually explain why I'm saying certain things and the reasoning behind it, right? Instead
Mhm.
of giving you a script and not explaining why we're saying it, you just won't really understand it and then you won't implement this in your business. So, this is how we add the distress or make it more personal to whatever the lead type we're calling. So, if we're talking about a foreclosure, hey, got it, I'll be quick. I saw that there was an auction on the 5th of February at 123 Main Street, right? Do you need any help with that? Or have you thought about selling it or getting rid of it in the next few months?
Yep.
Right? So that's kind of how you tie in that distress and also personalize what that phone call is. So instead of saying like, "Hey, Mr. Smith, like, are you gonna sell your house on 123 Main Street?" And it's like, "No, hang up. But it's like, hey, I saw your auction on the 5th of February. Or hey, dude, I saw that there's a pending lawsuit on it. Are you tracking what a lease pendants is, or something like that where you can tie in that issue,
Yeah.
right?
You're building a mountain basically, right? You're building a mountain of distress for them to be aware of, and then from there you can maybe offer solutions for them, and then from there get to the actual real agenda potentially on helping them buying their house.
100%, right?
Yeah.
And I know I only have 30-ish minutes, right? So I want to make sure
Yeah.
I get to the point on this. But basically, long story short, a lot of people get really confused in terms of, hey, when is it time for me to like send it to a closer? Or if you're a cold caller, lead manager, when is it time to elevate that to a closer? If they're talking to you and they answer like two or three questions about their house and they're like openly friendly about it, go into the discovery process. There is no like black magic thing. They're either going to say they're interested in selling and like openly talk about it, or they're going to be very closed off.
Yep.
And if they're closed off, there is a couple of ways to like bring that lead back, but for the sake of like beginners, like you don't really need to worry about that, right? If they're answering your questions, go straight into discovery. So like, hey, is it a good time? Like, you want to talk about it? You have 5, 10 minutes to talk about it, and they're like, yes. Okay, cool. Like they're interested. So like, let's go into the discovery process and figure out if it's actually a motivator, right? So, discovery and process, I want to talk about this for the remainder of the time because this is like 80% of our community's problem as well. Is I reviewed two phone calls yesterday. I do live sales audits for them. And what I notice is these calls are like 10 to 12 minutes long, and they rush through the call. They ask like one or two questions, and then they basically go, "Oh, I think I have all the information I need." And then they give them the offer like the same day or next day, and they always say no or they ghost, right? And this is exactly what we kind of teach of how to prevent that. So when you go into the discovery process, right, we have claimed a term of the closer method, right? The acronym CLOSER, and we'll cover the first couple right now today. So discovery, right? You want to clarify what the issue is. Like clearly articulate what the issue is, right? It's like perfect. So I don't waste your time. Can you walk me through what's going on the property and why you're considering selling now, right? It's not like a typical like other programs where they're like, so what's got you thinking about selling? It's like, okay, like we're setting the precedence that we're gonna go straight into this phone call, have a discussion, and you're gonna tell me what's up, right? Then like this question, remember, this is just a basis of a script. So the reason why we say certain things is because we want to elicit a certain response. So we always grade our students to say like, hey, if we wave the magic wand and this was handled in the next 30 to 60 days, what would you want to see happen? This question basically, long short, right, or long story short,
Mm-hmm.
is to figure out what their dream scenario is, right? Like you can't make a sale in anything if you don't know what the prospect's dream scenario is. Is
Yep.
it like if we're selling freaking ice cream, it's like my dream scenario is eating a Rocky Road ice cream, right? So if you don't know that I want Rocky Road and you give me blueberry, am I am I gonna buy it?
You're
No.
probably a ghost.
I'm gonna be like, all right, like I'm going to Carvel, right? So you got to figure out what the dream scenario is. Obviously, you know kind of what their pain is, but you have to dig into the pain and figure out where they are that they want to go, and that's how you tie that in to make your offer. Okay, so if they said something like, "Hey, I want to downsize my property," it's like, okay, what does that mean? Like, that's not really pain, right? So it's like, okay, got it. Tell me a little bit more about, downsizing your home. Like, is it like what's going on? Is it too big? Like, what's going on? Right? Like, let them talk about it. Like, that's a really bad example, but this is just an example that popped up in my head when someone told me that, like, the other day. Right? You want to make sure you get to the bottom of it. Like, why do they need to downsell? Right? Are they older? You don't know. Don't assume, but you want to ask them, like, hey, like, is it like what's going on? Like, what do you mean downsell? Like, oh, I have a two-floor house and I'm 70 years old. It's like, oh, got it. Okay, so like, how long have you been dealing with like the stairs and stuff? Oh,
Mm.
I've been thinking about it for 2 years. Okay, got it. So once you kind of figure out what that problem is, then you're going to label that problem, right? Your goal at the end of the day is to say and understand their problem better than they can,
Mm-hmm.
right? That you can articulate, because if you can understand what they're paying, first off, you're kind of rationalizing their pain into a bucket that they can understand. And then number two is if you can articulate their pain in the right way, they feel like they're understood,
Yep.
right? Half the people that, I mean, I would say more than half the people that call these sellers are just, they're just randoing off offers. That worked in 2021 where hedge funds would buy 70%, 80%, right, over value, right, wherever the case may be. But those days are over. Hedge funds aren't buying as much. You got 30 more people calling, right? And now you have AI closers that are like, taking market share now. So you need to understand what the seller wants and what their true problem is. So, what is an example of labeling? So they'll tell you a whole bunch of stuff. And it's like, so it sounds like the big headache is the house is too big. You don't want to walk up the stairs back and forth, and you've been dealing with this for a couple years, and you're just in pain going up and down the stairs, and you don't know what to do. Is that right? And they're
Yep.
like, yes. Okay. So what happens if nothing changes in the next like 6 months? And you want them to explain what that repercussion is if they don't make a decision, right? We're trying to handle objections and find out information as we go through the call before you have to face them in the future. Okay? And the psychology stuff is right here,
Yeah.
right? So if they minimize, oh, nothing's gonna really happen, right? You hear that all the time. Well, I gotta figure it out. It's like, okay, I totally hear you, but at the same time, it sounds like restate the consequence. It's like you don't want to walk up the stairs anymore. You're in pain, and you have this giant house to yourself. Like, is that fair? And they'll be like, yeah. So you want to try to bring them back a little bit, even if they minimize. If they minimize, you just want to rehash what that pain is and kind of restate it to make it stick a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, overview. So these are the questions of like what you would hear towards the end of the phone call. We do it during the discovery process because the most important thing is figuring out, and you can literally go line by line on this. Like these are questions that I just rattle off towards like the middle of the call because they're really comfortable with me at this point. Like we've had a conversation for maybe 5, 6 minutes. You start to rattle off the objections, right? Cool. So what have you tried so far to sell it or fix the situation? And they're gonna rattle off. So if this is a foreclosure, this is like the perfect question for me. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what have you already tried? And the only reason why I ask it like this is because I'm actually telling the person that like I respect you enough to like not baby you, right? That you know what a loan modification is or whatever the case may be. If you don't know it, then I'll explain it to you. But I'm not gonna be like, did you do a loan mod? Did you do this? Did you do that? Like that's like guys, who has anybody done a sales call when you go through the property conditions? You're like, what's the age of the roof? What's the age of the plumbing? What's the age of the vinyl? And then the seller's like pissed off. They get annoyed,
Yep.
right? Same thing with this question. Anything you do, like, don't like just list things one by one. You can be kind of smooth with it, right? Like, cool, like, what have you already tried so far to sell it or fix the situation? Oh, I tried calling to the bank, it didn't really work. Okay, like, how'd that conversation go? Like, did you like try to do a loan mod? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, I can't do a loan mod because of XYZ. Okay, cool. Like, so curious, like, are you talking to any agents or buyers right now? This is just to sort out the competition,
Yep.
right? Are you listing it? Are you thinking about listing it? Are you talking to a ton of investors? Okay, cool, right? Because guess what? If they're not talking to agents, guess what? I'm going to try to offer it on the back end if I can't buy cash. I'll offer to list it,
Yeah. Referral.
right? So besides you, is there anyone else on the loan or on the title who'd have to feel good about this? This is a pretty obvious question, right? Trying to figure out if there are any objections or whatever the case may be, right? Or like a wife or spouse. This is the question where it's like, oh, like I gotta talk to my spouse, right? Or I gotta talk to like my
Mm-hmm.
auntie who's a realtor. Oh God, right? I've had those things, but so what I usually do, it's like, okay, like, can you get them on the phone now? Because we don't want to play the phone tag thing, and I want to make sure like we're all communicating at the same time. If they say no, honestly, I would just be like, all right, I would rather have both of you guys on the phone so we have this conversation. can we book, like, when is she available so I can book a call,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I kind of don't want to proceed on the call if like another decision maker is present,
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
right? It's a waste of your time. And then also when you offer, they must be on the phone as well. Don't offer to a husband that needs to talk to their wife because they're going to hang up and talk to their wife and then you're going to get shopped around. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure everybody's on board. Okay? Numbers wise, right? This is the ballpark price question, right? Yada, yada, yada. Okay, numbers wise, if this worked out and you walked away happy, about how much would you like to put in your pocket when it's all said and done? You got to be very specific with your words. If this worked out and you walked away, about how much would you like to put in your pocket when it's all said and done? Right? Not how much, about how much. Right? We say certain things on purpose. Right? Cool. I've got what I need at my end. Mind if I run some numbers and come back with a couple of options for you? This is a very important thing, and I want to highlight this for this, is if they're a good fit, right? So at the end of this CLO process, so this is before you get into the offer call, at the end, you're going to figure out if you think that person's a good lead for an offer or not. And you can be very honest. Okay? This is how you get deals. Is, hey, to be honest, I think I have all the information I need. To be honest, I don't think our offer would be a good fit for you. And the reason why is XYZ, right? And you just kind of wait and they'll be like, okay. They might hang up or ask why. If you ask why, it's like, hey, you're not really sure what's happening, or like you're not really giving us enough information to like make you a fair offer. You don't know where you're going to go. Whatever the case may be, it's like, well, what we can do instead of waste everybody's time is give you a couple of things to do, and then I can touch base with you on like January 4th, right? You book an appointment. So never say, I'll call you in 2 weeks. It's like, I will call you on the 5th of January. What time works for you around then? 5 p.m. Okay, I got you locked in for 5 p.m. January 5th. When I call you, I'm going to ask you if you have XYZ taken care of. Fair? Fair. And they may actually change their mind and say, oh, okay, actually, like we got that figured out, right? Or if not, you just follow up with them. But never leave a call without booking a call. Like actually book a call. Like don't say I'll call you tomorrow. Like I'll call you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Are you available? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. I'll send you a confirmation. So that's if they're a no. If they're a fit, like they got good motivation, you got the right information, cool. I got what I need. Mind if I run some numbers and come back with a couple of options for you? Why do I say a couple of options for you? Do you know, Phil?
Well, my thought process on that would be like you want to be able to entice them to hear the couple of options and make an informed decisions on whether what they want to do. You could do a cash offer, you could do a sub two offer, you can combine the two and see what actually fits within their particular situation and motivation.
Yeah, dude. Like everyone's just like, yo, I'm gonna run some numbers real quick, and then my financial partner's gonna tell me what your property is qualified for, right? Have you guys heard that pitch before? Yeah. So obviously I've been through a lot of sales trainings and all that stuff. It's all burned into my brain. But what happens is you call them, you pitch them the offer, and they're like, no, F no. And then you're in this renegotiation phase. Kind of doing like the couple of options for you. It says it right here in the psychology. It's like it frames you as an advisor with multiple paths. So obviously there's a step ladder of how we do it. It's like, okay, cool. Like based off all the different properties we looked at and how much money it would cost to renovate, just a reminder, this offer would be no fees, no whatever. You're selling the outcome, right? We'll
Hmm.
talk about that. So we have a training this Saturday in our school community. It's like a 2 to 3 hour signature masterclass that I'll be doing, and it'll be 100% on sales, and it's like all free. So if you join our school, you don't need to like give me a Zoom email, whatever the case may be. You can literally attend the training on school. And it's one of my old signature master classes where I do like a sales training thing, and we're going to cover this whole sales process. But the most important thing is when you go into that offer call and you prime them for that cash offer and they say no, you ask them, the typical like, okay, like what would work for you today, right? If we can get to a number today, like what would it be to make you feel like this is a 10 out of 10, right? Very Hermosy, like 10 out of 10,
Hmm.
right? They'll give you a number. If it doesn't work, you already know that number. It's like, okay, cool. So remember, like we talked about options on the last call, right? with that price you gave me, do you need it right now or are you willing to wait 60 days? And the reason why I say that is let me list this for you, right? Let me list this to you. Or you can refer the deal out to an agent, but you got it at such a low price. So if it's a super low price, you could technically novate it. I don't really like novating it. I'd rather just list it and sell it for the maximum price. But
Mm-hmm.
like that number when you got it out of them, like, hey, what number would work? And they're like, oh, I want 120. And you're like, okay, do you need it right now or do you need a couple months? And if they say a couple months, you offer them the novation if you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
list it. If they're like, yeah, it doesn't really matter, I kind of need it quick, whatever the case may be, then you have to kind of negotiate. But I would just list it if they're patient. You know what I'm saying? It's less messy. No, I know a lot of novation weirdos out there that run Facebook ads nationwide. No offense to anybody doing that, but novations are so risky and so stressful for me that I just don't would rather not do it. But does that kind of make sense on how you can pitch the offer? Like by setting up the option thing, it
Yeah.
just frees you up,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
For sure.
So, but yeah, so I wanted to cover like a quick thing. Like I know these episodes are only 30 minutes, but this is kind of like a primer to the master class that we're doing on Saturday. Obviously, like we'll have all the links and all that stuff in the YouTube descriptions and stuff like that. But yeah, 100% for free. Come hang out for a couple hours. I'll probably lose my voice on it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, are there any questions?
Someone in the chat. I know Jodeci's here. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, yo, pin that, bro. Yo,
I'll
pin
pin
that
that.
comment right there.
That's hilarious. There we go. So Jodeci knows the pain of novation. I mean, it is painful. But I was working a novation deal with another student of ours, and the seller didn't want to do it. They had some issues with the agents involved and past experience, and the trust factor is always a huge thing in that.
Yeah,
There's a lot of obstacles you got to jump through, right? If the sellers didn't want anybody to walk through their property in the beginning, and you're gonna be showing and listing on the market, obviously there's gonna be buyers that are gonna be walking through the property, so it goes against what they actually want, and you're gonna have to navigate all that landmine, right? And you're like, well, I have a couple of investors coming through. like bro, it's like gonna be more than a couple of investors, basically. Right.
yeah. Like innovations are like kind of becomes like a babysitting thing too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
cause you want to tell a seller like, hey, like this could take 3 months or 4 months, and then
Mhm.
6 months down the road the house hasn't sold.
Yeah.
You know, and then the seller's like, dude, what the f? Like I could have sold this already myself at that point. And that's where you kind of get into like issues, right, with the novations. If you can't get it sold at the right price you want it at.
Yeah. I mean, innovations is you're basically just a glorified market at that point.
Yeah, 100%. I was looking at the comments here. Someone said, "Hey, can also find out if there was a probate or death or weird situation on that question." I'm guessing that's the question about is there anybody else in the title or deed,
Yeah.
right?
That was it.
And
Yep.
that's a really good point, right? It like the way like instead of you saying, "Hey,
This
would there
question.
be anyone upset, right, if you sold the property without speaking to?" I think that's a basic good question, but specifically saying, is there anyone on title or deed that would have to feel good about this before moving forward? Like that is no bullshit. Like, are you the only person on this deed? And then they'll say like, oh no, it's my dad's house. Like he passed away.
Mhm.
Oh okay, got it. Have you guys gone through probate, or is it still kind of like in that legal process? Like, right? That's now you're figuring out like a deeper issue of like, okay, probate's not done. Which, by the way, fattest checks in wholesale if you get that pre-probate listing. Um, but lots of issues with that, right? So good comment and good point on that.
I also add like if you really want to know, you can also look into the land records of whatever county or city that you're in and basically do some underwriting investigation as if you were a title agent anyways, because if you're going to bring this to a title company, they will do that particular research. They'll go into land records, they'll find the last vested deed. From there, they're going to see who owned it, and then they're going to look back 30 years from that to make sure that there is no break in the title to basically understand if this particular person actually owned it or if they did not. So
Yeah,
that's
that's good.
also, yeah, it's actually basically free. I know Harris County, which is in Houston, does an amazing job with their land records, and so you can actually look through their records and see who actually owned it and prior owners before that. So, dude, good questions on that. And also, like to your point, Tim, it's when if they're in probate and they haven't gone through probate per se, like it's like a probate that's still open and it's not completed, then you still have a messy title in that issue because it's not conveyed to their heirs or their next of kin. That is a whole process, and so once that is completed, then they're able to sell the property or whoever the administrator emit it was a matrix or I forget what it was called, executor. If the executor is there and has free will, they're able to sell it based on the judge and their own oath that they take. So it's a good amount of, I guess you can say, a good long process. Probably could take between anywhere between 3 to 6 months, maybe even longer, depending on how many heirs and what the situation is. So definitely can be a while before that property sells. Let's see what else he says.
When how much are you gonna get paid on that probate deal, if you don't mind me asking?
Jodeci?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cause year and a half probate, right? If you tell me 10 grand, I'm be like, bro, like what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the a lot of issue in long time lines with probates potentially closed a 1.5 year probate deal this week and closing a 1 month probate deal tomorrow. Let's yeah, that's good. So yeah, probates do make a lot of money in my yeah, and based on your your comment a couple of minutes ago, Tim. So I do agree with that. You can buy
What are
them
you
at a
talking about,
very
like?
deep discount.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
probates are
yeah,
ridiculous, right?
yeah.
And you get paid for the trials and tribulations you go through on that deal,
Yeah,
right? It's like walking someone through like the legal process and
yeah.
introducing them to a probate attorney. I talked to some dude the other day, and this is like kind of like free chicken, right? Kind of like, don't copy this, right? I'm just saying like there's a local family funeral home in
Mhm.
Chicago. No, Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City. So
Okay.
this is where this investor's at. And he talks to his local funeral home director and he gives him probate leads.
Mm,
Yeah, he
that,
just pays him a connector fee.
yeah.
I don't know how legal that is. Probably legal, but like,
It's probably legal. Yeah, it's legal.
yeah, but like kind of insane. He like hooks them up with that, and he knows if they can afford certain things or not. So it's kind of like
Yeah,
ICPing that family, right?
yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah.
they can't afford the freaking fancy shit or no final expense insurance, right?
Mm, 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 mm.
So kind of crazy. So year and a half probate, 15,000. 1 month deal, 28,000. So that's a pretty good spread.
Do this.
I know you have like 20 partners, so you're getting paid like 2 grand a piece, right?
That's rough,
A
bro.
lot of things went sideways on the 1.5 one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, makes
So guys, I
sense.
love this guy so much. I'm just giving him chops, but basically he has like 20 partners in his business, and like we always say, like if you have more than two partners, it's a disaster in wholesale, because you'll do all these deals, and then when you do all the payroll, the equity payout splits, and all that stuff, you've basically made like 2 grand, right? So you can do all this business by yourself. You really could, if you
Yeah.
hire.
Yeah,
So.
that's some really good chicken that you threw out there. You could connect with probate, I guess funeral homes, or we would call it,
Yeah,
or
they're like how like they're like the crypt keeper dudes that like run like the funeral home.
yeah,
Um, like they do like the embalming, all that stuff. Like it's like a one-stop shop. So like
yeah,
when someone dies, especially if you're like a local investor in like not like a metropolitan city,
yeah.
like and you have that in, bro, like when I go back to Louisville, Kentucky for a couple months, bro, I may just like swing by like and I actually went to grad school with a girl who owns her family owns like the biggest chain of funeral homes
Oh wow.
in Louisville, Kentucky, and I might be like, "Yo, what's up? Like, can I like get you paid on something? Cause like that's kind of a fire like
Yeah, dude.
strategy, bro.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Uncle Rick at the funeral home is just like, yo, here's 10 more dead bodies. It's like, like yo, I'm not like no cap, bro. It's crazy. So I'm just saying that's some free game there for you. Hit up some funeral home directors. You may get some sick probate leads.
Yeah, build a relationship and see how you can nurture that over the period of however long it takes in order for you to get those leads. I mean, there's also other ones too as well. You can also hit up probate attorneys. You also hit
Yeah.
other niche attorneys like divorce attorneys, build relationships, send them gifts, right?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, finish your thought, bro, because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's so important.
Sam Singh says this about his last training, which shout out to Sam, and like it's such a good like strategy. It's gonna cost more money up front, but the relationship that you can build can make you so much more money towards the end or towards like whenever they convert. So I recommend that like giving out gifts, like really personalize the gifts too. Don't give them like some crappy like gift card where you had no thoughts. Like really personalize the thing that they would understand, they would know based on research that you do on their LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile, or whatever you end up finding their information on. And that can go a long way. Seriously, guys.
Yeah, they were doing fruit baskets and
Yeah.
stuff, you know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and like a lot of people will say, "Oh, like I've talked to so many probate attorneys and they won't give me leads." It's like,
Yep.
bro, like, do you think that's gonna like, how many people do you think has reached out to them?
Yep.
A lot. And then
Yeah.
also, there's no value. Like, think about someone like DMing you on like Facebook or Instagram, like, "Yo, can I get like 30 minutes of your time? Like, I want to learn about wholesale." And then it's like, no, like,
Oh,
if you look at my calendar, I have no time to talk to you, right? No offense.
yeah.
Come to our live trainings. I'll answer every question you have.
Yeah.
Can't do one-on-one stuff. Same thing with probate attorneys. If you're just being like, "Yo, I'm just looking for free leads so I can make money," like, no, like, you know what I mean? You got to make it
Yeah.
make sense, right? When you look at it from their perspective, like that's how
Yeah.
you sound. It's like, "Oh, hey man, can you help me make money? And I don't know anything about you." It's like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So provide value of some sort, right? Maybe you have leads already that need a probate attorney.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I got active people looking for an attorney. Like, would love to connect and see if we can work, a partnership
Yeah.
together, right? A long term relationship. Bring value to the table. And I promise you, they're going to listen to you over the 20 broccoli boys that are calling them. I know I'm ripping today, dude. I'm
That's
ripping.
it, dude. Yeah, that's it, basically.
So,
Well, well, cool, guys. You want to wrap it up?
yeah, dude, no, no, appreciate it, guys. So remember, big free training on Saturday. Um, I'll probably be offline all day tomorrow just because I'm talking to the cadets at West Point tomorrow. But
Cool.
big training on Saturday, absolutely for free. Join our free school. Everything's gonna be on the calendar for you guys. And then would it be helpful if we posted this recording in the school community too, so they
I
have
think
it?
so. I think so. That'd be a good
Yeah,
one.
all right, cool.
That'd be
Yo,
good.
Carrie Tyler with the broccoli. Yo, yo, it's crazy. Hey, Carrie, dude, I don't know if you heard this while I was saying it, but in your local market, dude, you should like hit up the funeral home directors and just become like the don of your city. Just be like, yo, like I'll get you paid a referral fee if you tell me who passes away in the city. And those are pre-probate deals. Pre-probate.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, appreciate it. See you guys on Saturday.
It's peace.